All right, and welcome inside the apartment. This is the apartment we've been living in, working out of here in Buenos Aires for the last month, and I'll give you a quick tour around. So starting off here in the common area, you'll notice that it's hardwood floor throughout the unit, which has that old home character, cozy feeling. There's even spots where the ground kind of creaks a little bit. So this is not your brand new modern apartment that you'll find on Airbnb. This one has a lot more character, a lot more hominess, which we actually kind of like. Starting off here in the dining area, nice big dining table, which has been really nice for working in. So this whole month, one of us has been working here on the dining table and the other person is working here in this workspace that is in the living room that we've basically been using as an office. This was a huge selling point for the apartment because we saw that the workspace also had this big TV with HDMI hookup. So we've been using this as a second monitor. And those of you that work different places and don't just work at home, you know that having a second monitor is a game changer. So huge selling point for the apartment because obviously we're not carrying a bunch of monitors with us. Moving on into the living room here, pretty standard living room. As you can tell, it's not brand new, it's not modern, but it is homey, it has character. You can tell this place has been lived in and probably been owned for a while. Nice artwork, lamps, the whole deal. Stepping out here into the balcony. It's been really nice. Stacy's been eating her breakfast out here and getting some sun in her eyes early in the morning. And it's been nice to come out here, get some fresh air, look out at the street. You'll notice the building across the street. Sorry about the construction noise over there. We were concerned about that. Let's go inside here. When we first saw the building, when we first moved in, we were a bit concerned because we thought that there was going to be construction going on the entire time that we're here working on calls. But honestly, having that big abandoned building here has been very nice because no one's been in it. No one's been doing anything with it. Will that change in the future? I don't know, but it's been nice because there's no one across the street to look into our apartment. So there's a lot of privacy, huge benefit of the Airbnb here. I also really like this bookshelf they have. You can tell that there's all these different books from the previous owner. Another indication that this is someone's home that we're living in. I actually talked to the Airbnb over WhatsApp, super nice guy. He mentioned that this is a family apartment that he just Airbnbs out. I think his mother sadly passed away and now they use it as a rental unit. Going on into the kitchen here. First thing you'll notice is it's a little bit smaller than a typical kitchen that we might be used to in the US. You can tell it's a separate room, which is kind of funny because we don't look for that in the US. Usually we want open concept, kitchen flows directly into the dining table or the dining room, flowing directly into the living room. But this is common here in these older buildings. You can tell it's not very big. I can almost touch both walls. But not very big, but very functional. Kind of at everything that we needed, even all the pots, pans, things like Tupperware, which has been really useful, that Airbnbs don't always have, all the different glasses. Something that's been really nice, especially, was this drying rack, which I find doesn't often come in Airbnbs, and you end up laying your dishes out on the counter or something to try to dry them. You'll notice there's no dishwasher, so it's a lot of hand washing, air drying, but such is life here in Argentina. But we do have the basic comforts: microwave, stove, oven, and then in-unit washer, which is really nice. And then to dry, we use this hang dryer, which we actually do at home in the US too, because less energy, save energy, and better on your clothes as well. So that has been really nice. So we don't have to bring our clothes to a lavanderia every week, like I have done in other countries. And then a little table in here. At first, I didn't like the crampedness of the kitchen, but I found to love it because there's this door. You can tell it's very soundproof. So if Stacey's out there on calls, I come in here cooking lunch and it's no problem at all. Oh, side note, I've also, the neighboring unit is directly across this little courtyard here. I don't know if you can see it through this. So there is a little courtyard where there's like a hole in the building that the sun can come through. And I have made awkward eye contact with the neighbors there on more than a few occasions. All right, so that's the kitchen. And then we'll move on here into the second bedroom. Not a whole lot to say about this. It's a second bedroom, 2 twin-size beds. You can see it looks into that courtyard again. Nice big closet space, which is a bonus. We really didn't use this bedroom at all because it's just the two of us. So we were just mostly in the primary bedroom, and there's less natural light in here. So we honestly didn't spend much time in here. But I did record a couple voiceovers because it's quieter away from the main road. So I did use it for that purpose. And then here is the second bathroom, I guess you could call it. Standard bathroom, small sink, big full shower with bathtub, and then toilet, and then bidet is tucked here behind the door, which we've gotten used to because we got a bidet. It's not common in the US, but we got one of those little attachments in our toilet at home, and now I can't go anywhere without a bidet. So it's been real nice having that. And then here's the primary bathroom. Similar layout, counter, toilet, bidet here behind the door again. And then full shower. You can tell that this window looks right into this brick wall, which is behind. Probably needs to be replaced pretty soon, but the way the buildings work here is they're like sandwiched right against each other. And you can see that here where there's a brick wall put probably after this window was put in. So no natural lighting here, but that's that. You'll notice that the toilet is not a whole lot of space here in the bathroom. The toilet is right against the counter, but honestly, that's been nice for working. Just slap the little laptop there and I can keep working and not skip a beat. And moving on to the primary bedroom here. Nice, more street noise. You can tell it's noisier here, but there is a lot better natural light in this room. There's no overhang above us, so there's more light that gets into the room. Yes, hola. This guy comes around usually once a day, every other day. I never can understand what they're saying, but I think they're selling something. I think they sell something out of the truck. But yeah, you can see there's a balcony there, a lot better light, ceiling fan, which has been really nice at night, as well as AC in every room, which I didn't point out earlier. I believe this is it seems like bigger than a queen bed in the US. I think they do the thing where there's 2 separate twin beds and they push the 2 bed frames together. And I think it's pretty much like a king, maybe a little bit smaller in the US. And then of course, same big closet, which we didn't bring a whole lot of stuff, but that's there. And then another TV, which we haven't used, and yeah, pretty basic standard bedroom. Blackout curtains, which has been nice. And yeah, I did find out that it's pretty easy to see in here when the lights are on at night. I was sitting on the bed one day looking out, and there was a couple walking by, and she was like looking up, and I was like, I swear she's looking here. I tried waving, and she goes, and creepily waves back. So you can see in here, but that's what the curtains are for. And that's pretty much the whole space. That's the little apartment here. So it is a 2-bed, 2-bath, or here in Argentina, they list apartments by ambientes, which the direct translation is like environments. I think of it like basically rooms or like living spaces. And I believe this is 3 ambientes because there's the living room, which counts as 1, and then each of the bedrooms, and then the kitchen is just standard. So I believe it's 3 ambientes. But yeah, this is our Airbnb that we've been living in, working in for a month. We paid about $1,500 US for the entire month, which is not the cheapest that you could find. I was walking around looking in the windows of some of the real estate shops. here in the city, and they're advertising units for like $600 a month, $700, $800 a month. I don't know if that comes with a longer lease term. Ours was obviously a short-term rental on Airbnb, and we just did that for convenience, that we could come here, have something set up. But if you do want to save money and you're staying here for longer, I know people that have come here, booked a shorter stay somewhere, and then talked to people that rent out their place to locals. You can get a lot better deal. I've heard of people getting like 1-bedrooms and like modern, nice apartments for what, $500, $600 for the month. So you can do a lot cheaper, but we wanted the convenience so that we just have one place. We wouldn't have to move around. We wouldn't have to spend time shopping around for a place. We could just come here, be ready to work. So we decided to pay the extra money. But that being said, this was one of the most affordable places that we found on Airbnb when we did book. There's a lot more expensive places, especially if you're looking for like 2 bedrooms, like we were, so that we could separate and work in different areas, because Stacey's on calls all the time. If I have a meeting as well, obviously we need that separation. But yeah, this is the place. This is where we've been living. As you can tell, we're all packed up because we're about to take an Uber to the airport and fly to a new country. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Anything to add, Stace? She's shaking her head no. Awesome. Thanks, everyone.